So you've got the 09. You try to spin the motor. Now this will likely be a Hall sensor or the motor wiring. So on this case, the motor wiring is damaged. It's so close to where it goes into the motor. We're going to rewire this motor today. So we've got the motor cable here, which just unplugs, and then these should be 18mm spanner. And do this side, and then the other side, like so. And you've got these little metal holder bits. So this is ready to come off, but it won't come off because you've got the brake here. So I need to undo that with the Allen key. 5mm, right? Yeah, 5mm Allen key. So we'll undo that, remove that brake wire, like so. And then we should be able to, oh no, you have to undo this one too. Like most drum brakes have this little extra bolt here, which will be 4mm Allen key. Boom. There's no spacer in between, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. Like so. Alright. Put that to one side. Now we should be able to remove the motor. Let me move the scooter out of the way. So here we've got the motor with the motor cable here. If we take these bits off, this screw here, we can then remove the drum brake. Get that out of the way, 'cause it's just going to become annoying otherwise. Put that with a scooter. And what we want to do is undo these middle bolts and not the outer ones, especially not when the tyres pumped up, because I believe this has a split rim. Yeah, this has a split rim, so the rim comes apart in two pieces. You don't want to undo that when the tyre's pumped up, because yeah, it pops off and it probably just break the metal, the rim casing. Right. So we've got there 4mm. I'm just going to get the screwdriver. The electric screwdriver isn't charged, like always. So just undo these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. Have a look on the other side. Yeah, definitely have to be this side, which is it's annoying because we're going to have to bang it through from the other side. So if you ever had to do this and the cable wasn't already broken, it's quite hard to do it unless we pull from this side, but we'll find out in a minute. Are we good? Alright, we're good. So take these out. Right, so we're back here on a hard surface now. I'm just going to put the old tyre T-towel down. Oh, of course, you're going to have to take these off. It was never going to go through anyway, so silly me. I need to take this off, because that is obviously stopping it from going through. Rookie error there, mate. Rookie error. should have known that. Right, so let's get this off. So you want these down and onto the wire as far back as you can. I'm going to move that down and hopefully we'll actually get it out this time. There we go. Alright, so it's my fault. And we're going to pull, and you need to watch your hands. When you either go for it or you don't. So grab it, push down and out, away from the magnets, because it's just going to pull your hand in so far. So if we look at this wire in here, can see that the yellow's gone. I think that's the only cable that's really broken, but they're all twisted and mashed, and it's going to be very difficult to just wire that back together because it doesn't give you any room whatsoever. So we are just going to have to take all these cables out and then rewire this end to the new cable. So I'm just trying to work out how we're going to do this. I need to get rid of all this gluey stuff, and what we'll probably do is cut each of these cables and resolder them. You can even see the white one here. I don't think the white one's actually being used. Don't believe the white one is being used. You've got yellow, you've got your green and blue phase, and we've got A, B and C, positive and negative. So I don't see any reason the white cable was being used. So let's crack. Going to get rid of this silicone glue, hopefully. Let's have a look how stuck it is. Alright, it's got like, I've never seen that before. It's got like string holding it. That's strange. All around. Normally there's like some kind of cable tie or... That's bizarre. Cool, you wouldn't want to be the person tying that up at the factory, would you? I think we're just going to go to plan number 1. Black. We'll have to do all 3 of the phase wires too. The phase wires you want to leave a little bit of cable because you're definitely going to want to solder it on, saves having to you know, solder it back to the winding, which is under these parts here, under this tape stuff. So I'm going to pull this cable out. There we are, so we've got our cable now. This is what we're going to reattach at somewhere along the line because we need this connector. Of course, worst case, what you could do, but it's longer winded if you couldn't keep this connector for whatever reason, is change the other connector for a different one. the most common is the, you know, the 5-pin plug connector, but this one's waterproof. So right, so now we've removed the motor wire. Let's get this casing out. There we go. Just get any of that silicone glue out. Come in here. We're gonna have to change the ends on this to the other one. It goes down, and you got this here. So the other one wasn't very long. Say something like this. So I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer because we can always shorten it the other end. So I'll take this off here. Snip. And then we've got, so actually before we strip it anymore, we'll put this down in through the motor housing and out the other end. And what we need to do is try and pull it up a little bit. So we want to pull that back out. We'll spray this with WD-40 quick. We'll go back in so it's nice and loose. And what we want is to maybe bend that around like that, so that when it comes out, it's gonna still come upwards, hopefully. So, screwdriver. What we're trying to do is get this to go up here like that and through, so up and through. Right, then we can get pliers, pull this new cable out. This is so much quicker than just sitting there trying to mess around. Might as well just go for it if you're going for it. So now we need to be a little bit careful that we don't mess these cables up, because, you know, we're just trying to pull them through, give it enough leeway. Now we've got it to here. Now we've got the cables through into here. We can push it through. So we will do that. We'll push it all the way through, and then we'll strip the casing down to where we need it to. So like this, out with the other cables. And then we will strip this back. Maybe just a little bit more, strip that casing back a little bit more. So we've definitely got enough room. Like so. Then what we'll do is pull it back through, so there's only enough room then to strip these first. Actually, strip these ones first. So we'll go for just a little bit off each end. Here we got our new wires, and they're all ready to be soldered up to the old wires in here. So all the small wires, I'm actually going to resolder them back to the board, but the blue, the yellow and the green, I'll solder them to the other phase wires, and then put a bit of covering on them. So these are the hall sensors, which look all intact, but we can test that once we get the wiring done. And the hall sensors attach, so there's normally A, B and C. So you've got A, B and then C. You've got your positive and your negative. And then you have 3 phase wires. So you've got your blue, your yellow, which goes to here, which the phase wires goes to the winding of the motor. Green, yellow, and blue. So what's that? You've got 3, 5, 8 cables in total. It looks like that. So the next thing I want to do is bring some of this wiring casing off of the 3-phase wires, and then I will desolder these and replace them with the actual wires. So I've got these little old school wire stripper, so what I'll do is match this up to the right one, maybe this one, if we can get it there. No, so one smaller, like that one. There we go. We've got a nice here, so that's what we're going to solder to. I'm going to do the same for the yellow. So yellow needs to go this way, green needs to go this way, blue needs to go that way, and then the other ones we can sort them out. So let's pull this back out a bit. So there, and we'll go yellow to yellow. We can get blue to blue, yellow to yellow, and then green to the green. So I'm going to put some casing over that, or am I going like so. So yellow to yellow, this kind of wire, because it's not a copper, but it's like a silvery colour. I don't actually know what it's made of. As you can see, most of the wires, or the smaller wires even, I know they're silvery colour, maybe they're just a plated copper, but the smaller the wire, the easier it definitely is to solder. I know that these ones like a big solder tip and yeah, a bigger bit of solder. I'll twist them together like that. Like so. And what we'll do is we'll solder them first and then insulate them with, as best we can, with either maybe a cover that I can shrink over it, or we might just have to go for the old tape. And get these ones out of the way. So yeah, this is what I call a plastic tip, because I always use it for whenever it's going near some plastic bits. But on this occasion it happens to be the biggest tip, so it's the 3-phase wires done, the yellow, the green and the blue. For that yellow one we could always put a tiny bit of tape to cover that metal, but I don't think it's going to be a problem, but we'll get there. I'm going to desolder all these little wires and then resolder the new ones. covers the bit that's showing like that. Then we're going to take the red off. I'm grabbing the wire and then take that off. Like that. There we are. So that's each of them soldered down. There is a little bit of wire out the other side of the solder, but it's not a factory job, so it's not the end of the world. It's not touching anything. Each one's been soldered back down. It's not the neatest, but it's neat enough and it's done the job. So I'm going to put this back together and then we can test it, because it will actually have this one on it. So this one's great for the tester because it just plugs straight in. Right, so I removed the clip from the end so we can actually fit it through the motor. So that's what we're going to do now. So I've got the upper bit of the motor here. The motor, we're going to feed them wires in and through. Out the other side. And I'll show you the magnet bit. So yeah, you do have to be very careful. So just feed that wire as much as we can. Like I say, moving your hands away from anywhere where it can get caught. You're going to feed that wire down nice and straight, and then all of a sudden you'll just feel it go bang. Boom. See? You don't want your fingers in that. That's going to really hurt. Put casing on to there. So for testing, just a couple of screws will do for now. Right, so here we have it wired up to the tester. We can already see two of the hall lines are there. If we can, there we go. See, all three are flashing. My testers all over the place, so now we can twist it nicely. As soon as two wires touch here, then we end up with resistance on the motor. So there we go. And again, they're touching, so but it doesn't matter because it's just on the tester. So that is good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, and these actually, and the phase wires, because it all goes into the other wiring, which is here, and I'm going to put them all together like so. The white cable is irrelevant. Get this off, and we'll go with this. We'll have to come all the way back to here. I'm going to come back because I need to go pick my son up from school, so this will be the last bit until the next bit of the video. Let's get rid of this other bits. Probably cut that about there. Get rid of that. Now we've got enough of each wire. So with this, we'll be able to solder this to the new wire. Yeah, and this motor will be good to go. Here it is after being soldered onto the other wire. It's got a bit of excess wire there, but hey, it's not the end of the world. This one needs a rear fender,